Jeudy was once seen as a bust, another college star who couldn't deliver in the pros. But now, he's torching defenses, ranking top 6 in receiving yards, and making it like effortless. But what really shocked fans wasn't just his breakout season. It was what he revealed about the Browns' QB situation. And one name caught everyone off guard: Shedeur Sanders. In a raw moment with Shannon Sharpe, Jeudy finally opened up about why this Browns offense is different, and whether Coach Prime's son might actually take over the entire team. What he said? Let's just say it's got the whole NFL buzzing. Coming out of Alabama, Jeudy wasn't just another wide receiver prospect. He was the guy. A former Biletnikoff Award winner, national champion, and the smoothest route runner college football had seen in years. Analysts were unanimous. Jeudy was NFL ready, with elite separation skills, footwork that embarrassed defenders, and a deep route tree that reminded people of legends. He wasn't flashy in the way some receivers are. He was surgical. Every cut was calculated. Every move felt like it came from a seasoned vet. Heading into the 2020 NFL Draft, Jeudy was ranked right alongside Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Henry Ruggs III as part of that stacked receiver class. And while Ruggs had the raw speed and Lamb had the flair, Jeudy was considered the technician. ESPN, NFL Network, they all said the same thing. He's the cleanest route runner in the draft. That's why when the Broncos took him 15th overall, it felt like a steal. Denver fans thought they had their WR1 of the future locked in. A perfect fit in an offense that needed someone explosive, consistent, and NFL ready. People expected him to be an immediate difference maker, the kind of guy who would put up 1,000-yard seasons right out of the gate. But what nobody saw coming was how quickly that hype would turn into doubt. Injuries, quarterback chaos, and a carousel of coaching changes put Jeudy in a tough spot almost immediately. The promise was there, flashes of brilliance in his rookie year, but the numbers didn't match the expectations. And just like that, the same analysts who hyped him up were now asking, did Denver get it wrong? But that was just the beginning, because what happened next nearly buried his career. Despite the hype, Jeudy's rookie year felt more like a warning sign than a breakout. Sure, he had moments, a 92-yard touchdown here, a crisp double move there, but consistency was nowhere to be found. And it wasn't all on him. Denver's quarterback situation was a revolving door. One week, it was Drew Lock. The next, it was Teddy Bridgewater. Then, Russell Wilson came in with huge expectations and underdelivered. No chemistry, no rhythm. And for a precision receiver like Jeudy, that's a death sentence. Add in nagging injuries, ankle sprains, hamstring issues, and Jeudy found himself on the sidelines just as often as he was on the field. He couldn't build momentum. His targets dropped, his confidence dipped, and the media didn't hold back. They started calling him overrated, a draft bust, even labeling him as a wide receiver 3 behind Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick. And when the Broncos brought in Russell Wilson, many thought that would finally unlock Jeudy's potential. But instead, that 2022 season became one of the most dysfunctional in team history. Missed throws, broken plays, and a locker room that seemed completely lost. Jeudy's frustration was obvious, on the field, in pressers, and even in subtle social media posts. It wasn't that he wasn't talented. Everyone still saw the footwork and elite cuts. It's that nothing around him worked. And the longer that continued, the louder the whispers got. Fans started wondering if maybe Jeudy just wasn't that guy. Maybe Denver wasn't just the wrong system. Maybe he was the wrong pick. But just when most had given up on him, everything changed. And it started with a call from Cleveland. By the time the 2024 offseason rolled around, Jeudy's name wasn't headlining fantasy drafts or hype reels anymore. It was floating in trade rumors. Denver seemed ready to move on. And honestly, so did Jeudy. Then came the surprise move. The Cleveland Browns traded for him in a deal that barely made headlines at first. A late pick swap, no massive blockbuster energy. But behind the scenes, this was bigger than people realized. The Browns weren't just looking for another receiver. They were betting on a redemption arc. They saw what Jeudy could be, not what the box score said he was. Cleveland's front office believed he wasn't a bust, just badly misused. And Jeudy? He saw something in Cleveland too. A team on the rise, a hungry roster, and a system that actually fit his strengths. Kevin Stefanski's offense was built around route precision, timing, and space creation. All the things Jeudy thrived at back in Alabama. And most importantly, the Browns promised him something Denver never did, a real role, not a rotating one. From the moment he landed in Ohio, Jeudy looked locked in. Off-season workouts, media day, even teammates noticed the energy shift. This wasn't the soft-spoken, frustrated guy from Denver. This was a receiver who knew he had something to prove. And he didn't have to wait long to show it. Because once training camp kicked off, it became obvious. This version of Jeudy wasn't just trying to bounce back. He was ready to dominate. Nobody expected Jeudy to be the guy in Cleveland. With Amari Cooper still in the mix and Elijah Moore showing flashes, most thought Jeudy would quietly blend into the WR2 or WR3 role. But what happened at training camp shocked everyone. From the very first practice, Jeudy looked different. Faster, sharper, angry in the best way. Cornerbacks couldn't stay in front of him. Not in one-on-ones, not in full-speed reps. Reporters started buzzing. Coaches started smiling. And teammates, they started whispering that maybe this dude was about to explode. Then came the preseason. Jeudy didn't just perform. He owned every snap. Short routes, deep shots, sideline toe taps. The entire route tree was back in play. And with Deshaun Watson still recovering and the QB room in flux, Jeudy became the go-to safety valve for whoever was under center. The chemistry? Immediate. By the time the season officially kicked off, it wasn't even a debate. Jeudy was the Browns' most dangerous weapon. 6 games in, he was top 6 in the league in receiving yards, something nobody saw coming. His yak numbers were off the charts. His catch rate was the best of his career. And suddenly, the NFL world was talking about him again, but this time with respect. Fans called it a comeback. Teammates called it overdue. But Jeudy, he called it inevitable. And behind the scenes, something even more unexpected was brewing. Because as Jeudy was rising, a certain rookie quarterback was catching everyone's attention. At first, it seemed like a long shot. A rookie QB with no NFL snaps, playing behind a former Pro Bowler in a high-pressure market. But Shedeur Sanders wasn't just any rookie. He came in with more media attention, more scrutiny, and more swagger than most first-round picks, and he hadn't even been drafted yet. When the Browns brought him in as a UDFA, most assumed it was for headlines, a prime-time PR move. But inside the locker room, that wasn't the vibe at all. From day one, players said Shedeur carried himself like he belonged. No nerves, no ego, just calm poise and laser focus. Even veterans like Jeudy, who've seen quarterbacks come and go, took notice. And Jeudy would know. He played against Shedeur in college and watched him evolve from a flashy high school recruit to a disciplined field general under Coach Prime. In interviews, Jeudy didn't hold back. He told Shannon Sharpe that Shedeur was smart as hell and that the kid processes the game like a vet. But what really raised eyebrows was what he didn't say. He didn't brush off the idea of Shedeur starting. In fact, he leaned into it. "He's got that look in his eye," Jeudy said. "You can tell he's been groomed for this." And that wasn't just talk. In scrimmages, Shedeur was making throws that had coaches shaking their heads in disbelief. Anticipation, touch, timing. He was reading defenses, not just reacting. And most importantly, he was earning trust, especially from Jeudy. That quiet chemistry, it was growing. And people were starting to wonder, is Shedeur really about to skip the line and take over this team? The moment came on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast, a setting known for pulling raw, unfiltered honesty from athletes. And Jeudy didn't disappoint. What started as a casual chat about his journey quickly turned into a deep dive into Cleveland's future. And Jeudy didn't hold back when the topic of quarterbacks came up. When Shannon asked who had been surprising him the most during camp, Jeudy paused, then dropped the name, Shedeur Sanders. "I've been around a lot of QBs," he said, "and you can just feel when someone has that command. Shedeur? He walks in like he already knows what's going on. Ain't nothing too fast." Jeudy didn't blink. "I've seen starters who don't prepare like him. He ain't just here for the show. He's coming for that job, and he's not far off." That clip, it exploded online. Social media lit up. NFL Twitter couldn't believe it. Some fans thought Jeudy was just hyping his former college rival. Others said he was taking subtle shots at Deshaun Watson. But no matter how you spun it, the message was clear. Shedeur wasn't just the future. He might be the now. And when a wide receiver starts building that kind of trust with a young QB, coaches listen. Especially when that receiver is leading the team in yards, confidence, and swagger. So what happens when your breakout star is vouching for the rookie? You pay attention. Every NFL locker room has an unspoken pecking order. Veterans get the attention. The rookies earn their way in. But what was happening in Cleveland this season flipped that script fast. As Shedeur Sanders continued to turn heads in practice, something shifted behind closed doors. It wasn't just about raw talent anymore. It was about energy. The players were gravitating toward him. Coaches noticed it first. During film sessions, Shedeur would point out mistakes before they happened. Not just his, but from the entire offense. Veterans started leaning in when he spoke. Receivers began asking to rep with him during drills. And most telling of all, Jeudy, now Cleveland's breakout WR1, started catching more passes from Shedeur than Watson in practice rotations. And this wasn't a fluke. Word started to leak. Beat reporters whispered about a quiet QB controversy brewing. Inside sources described Shedeur as obsessed with mastering the playbook and surgical in red zone drills. He wasn't just competing, he was winning reps. Then came the players-only meeting, the kind where team leaders speak and everyone listens. Jeudy stood up and reportedly said, "We all know who's bringing that spark. Let's stop pretending." No names were dropped, but everyone knew what and who he meant. The message was clear. This wasn't just about Shedeur proving himself anymore. It was about the locker room starting to believe he should lead. And when a young QB has the talent and the room, that's when things start to shift fast. It sounds wild on the surface. A rookie undrafted quarterback starting over a former Pro Bowler with a $230 million contract. But in the NFL, things change fast. And what once seemed unthinkable is suddenly being talked about like it's inevitable. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just having a good camp. He was outplaying expectations and at times outperforming Deshaun Watson. Fans might not hear it from the front office, but inside league circles, whispers were growing louder. Analysts started pointing to Watson's inconsistency, missed reads, inaccurate throws, and that sluggish footwork that just wouldn't go away. Meanwhile, Shedeur was delivering clean drives and scrimmages, threading passes into tight windows, and showing the kind of calm that's rare for a rookie, especially in Cleveland. Then came the report from Mary Kay Cabot, a trusted Browns insider. She said outright, Shedeur Sanders has a legitimate shot to be QB1 by the time the season starts. That one sentence, it flipped everything. Suddenly, ESPN segments were debating it. Podcasts lit up with takes. Browns fans, some skeptical, some ecstatic, started wondering, could Shedeur really do it? But it wasn't just hype. The locker room's tone changed. Coaches began giving Shedeur more first-team reps, not just in practice, but in 2-minute drills, the situations that test everything. And remember, This isn't a typical rookie. He's been trained under primetime pressure since high school. He's played with millions watching, doubting, dissecting his every move. The kid's used to chaos. He doesn't flinch. So while the media still calls it a competition, those watching closely, they say the takeover has already begun. A year ago, Shedeur Sanders wasn't even in the NFL. Jeudy was getting dragged online as a draft bust. And the Browns? Still stuck in quarterback limbo, clinging to the hope that Deshaun Watson could bounce back. Now, everything's changed. Jeudy has exploded into a top-tier receiver, leading the team in yards and confidence. And Shedeur? He's gone from just Coach Prime's kid to the name on everyone's lips in Cleveland. But what makes this story different isn't just the stats, it's the belief. Jeudy didn't just praise Shedeur on camera, he vouched for him. Publicly, boldly. And in the NFL, that kind of endorsement doesn't happen unless the locker room is feeling it too. If Shedeur does get the start, whether week 1 or later, it won't be some media stunt or desperation move. It'll be because he earned it, with preparation, with performance, and with presence. And that's the thing about the NFL. It's not always about who's paid the most. It's about who the team believes in when the lights come on. So whether you're rooting for him or still on the fence, one thing's for sure. This Browns team is no longer Watson's by default. And if Jeudy's right, Shedeur Sanders isn't just ready. He's coming for the crown.